Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Need to make sure my sound's coming through pretty good. Give me just a moment. All right. Let's turn it. Oh, that's good. Hope you're all doing good today. I am trying something new. Um, yeah. Let me do this one more time because I don't know when I'm going to go live again. Okay. There we go. Let me go back over here. There we go. Hey, Coley. Hi, Scrimshaw. Hi, Nikki. Yeah, I've been having a really bad pain day. Um, actually, what is going on here? I don't know. Oh, I know what's going on. I haven't been to bed. I woke up Saturday at 11 a.m. I haven't been to bed since because I'm in pain. So I'm just trying out this new dual streaming thing, seeing how it goes while I work on the holiday blanket, trying to get it done. I need a little bit more light. So give me 1 second. Because it's not bright enough over her. Where is this? Right there we go. Let's see if I can do this without getting messing up my desk is cluttered with Christmas stuff everywhere. Let's see. Where's my light switch now? I've got Christmas yarns everywhere. That's all I've been doing for the past, good Lord, I don't know how long. Hi, Jen and Ruthie, Mama Winch. Those on? Yeah, they gave some light. That'll work for now. Um, yeah, I've just been sitting here working on Christmas stuff. What the heck is on my finger? I don't know. There we go. Hey, little Carrie. Um, this holiday blanket is, I'm going to say about 90. Let me mess with this camera real quick. Uh, there we go. It's about, mm, give or take, 75% done. Um, I'm just trying to, I've been needing something to keep my mind occupied to help me keep. 'Cause I've been going through a major flare up for almost a week now. So I've been just busting out this blanket as what I do here. This goes there. So I've just been busting out this blanket as much as I can. Oh, you just got tangled. And it was making me, there we go. Just busting out as much as I can. I've got it. This, it's all filmed. I'm up to date on filming on this. Um, but yeah, I've just been sitting here under. I moved the ottoman underneath my part where I normally sit and watch TV shows and stuff, and I've just been working on this blanket and dealing with my pain and watching a bunch of. I've kind of gotten to like the body cam. Um, police stuff, I've been watching a lot of that, the criminal, because it's kinda keeps my mind more active. Lives help, but I need to see how I actually really do set I moved my mic. I know my mic is very sensitive. Oh, there we go. One sec. Um, but it's been helping me 'cause it's a bunch of guessing games of who did what. So it's been helping me with my power through this pain, um, because nothing's really working. All I've been taking is I mean, the VA is not gonna give me jack. So all I've been taking is, oh, what is that stuff? Kratom and just dealing with it and not sleeping much because as soon as the kratom starts wearing off, if I'm asleep, then it turns into literally tears. So I just been working my way through the pain the way I can. Exactly. Like what I've been watching, it's called Explore with Us. That's the channel, and Dr. Insanity. Those two channels, I prefer Explore with Us or Ewu body cams more than I do Dr. Insanity, but they all have some really good cases, and I'm normally not into that type of stuff, but I've been watching the heck out of it, so and yeah, just doing what I can do. It's all I can do. As soon as I get done with this return pass, I'll flip this around so you can actually see. Oh, man, this is kinda awkward. I'm gonna have to shorten this cable, though. I've got a really long cable on this thing right now. Um, this is such a gorgeous blanket. Gosh, I can't wait to do more, and see, kratom, though, the thing with kratom is it acts like a hydrocodone. Hydrocodones are and all opioids are uppers to me, so they make me not sleep, but that's kinda good right now because if I s because the kratom only works about 4 to 5 hours, and if I'm asleep when it kicks off, I don't wanna have to wake up and, because I'm in so I have a lot of pain, so when it gets about the 3.5 to 4-hour mark, I'll take another dose, and, yeah, I know it's keeping me awake, but it's also helping me fight through this. I've done both, and they've both acted the same way to me. So yeah, I just, almost done with this game, and I like the color I'm working with right now for this section. It's the Big Twist Value. What is this color? Poinsettia stripe, and I had like 10 that I got. I think it's a 2023 color, and I've been at a loss what to use them for. I call it the Freddy yarn because it looks like Freddy Krueger's, sweater. So me and Panda's been calling it the Freddy yarn. And I had 10, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, so I ended up putting it in this blanket. The section I'm actually doing right now, none of it's hard. The some of it is a yarn. Well, the section I'm working on right now is a yarn eater. I'll show y'all that why I say that here in a minute. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is with my medical background, a lot of that stuff too, scrimshaw, I'm very skeptical about it. I don't believe in like acupuncture. I don't believe in none of that type of stuff. It's Western medicine. That's the only downfall of, being in a medical professional. And I came to medical profession as long as I have, or as long as I did. And I'll show you all the sections here in a minute. I don't I'm gonna be here in the next couple months, resituating my lights because right now they're clamped to my desk, and I wanna do some stuff into it. But anyway, um, so yeah, I just been working on this. I've been thinking about other ideas, and I worked up a small little ooh, what did I do? What did I do? Split the yarn. Working up other ideas, little swatches of them to make sure they work, and they do. So after I finish all my Christmas stuff, the next thing I'm working on is Tunisian crochet. What is that called? The flower bouquet blanket. That's what I'm going to be doing next. Well, after all the holiday stuff, bust that out, and then I'm going to be working on. Then the next blanket I'll be working on is called Jewel of the Nile. And then I'm going to be working on my next Irish themed one. Hey, Ivy, sweetheart. Hi, Pammy. Well, hello, sweetie. I hope you sleep good. Um, and I know you go live at weird hours, at night. A lot of it is I'm up by myself. Panda go work, so he's in bed, and I'm sitting here working away, and so I might as well go live. And also, I'm writing this pattern up as I record it 'cause I'm making it up as I go. I already knew half of it because I worked it up whenever I had my first major flare up in August. I worked the swatch up. Okay, we gotta stop there. I'm gonna flip it so y'all can start seeing the other side. There goes the cable. Well, hello, Charm Grammy. How are you doing? Oh my goodness. And let's see. I got these really long cables on here right now. Ignore the stitch markers. That was just row counts for me. See if I can flip it. It's big. I'm telling you, it's big. But this is the section I'm working on right now. It's the bobble section. This section is a stitch pattern I came up with called the knotted ridge. Uh, Section below it is the alpine stitch, and that's done in an older 2023 big twist color. Then the section after that, I got to make sure I don't knock over my yarns, is the lime jello colorway that Big Twist has. Um, that one. And I just made up a stitch combination for it. And then the very center is, oh goodness, this, because what it is it's a Christmas tree broken down. You got your present, which is right here. This is the Tunisian Jacob's ladder, the my knotted ridge. This is the tree skirt. This is your tree, the alpine stitch. This is your ornaments. And then the next section after this is going to be a mix of a couple stitches, and it's going to be representing the tinsel and the lights. And then the following last section will be it'll be just like 4 star stitches in Tunisian. So I'm going to be putting all 4 star stitches throughout for the top of your tree. So it's kind of yeah. It's the holiday jamboree blanket, and I kinda don't like I said, I wanted it to be like a broken down Christmas tree and have different aspects of the Christmas tree into it, you know what I mean? If that makes sense, and in between each bauble, it's gonna be hard to tell, but there's a drop down, an extended front tail stitch that act in my mind, it's the what's that thing called? What are those things called? The ornament thingamajigs that you put into an ornament and you hang it on your tree. So that's what I was going with on that aspect of it. And it happens, of course, every single one of them happen to be the color you can't really tell. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. You can see it over here a little bit more. You can see the drop down, the extended front post stitch it, Tunisian stitches here. And then it's just knit stitch in between, and then the bobbles. And right now, the row I'm starting on now for all these sections are 20 rows. Um, and I try to make a really good repeat that's easy to follow. I know this is gonna be cluttered with bobbles, but I wanted something that was still easy to follow. And then I've got my hook. Ooh, come on. Where is it? It's caught down here because it's long. I need to change the cable, but too lazy. It's just I put 2 hooks on a cable. That's all I did. And they're both 7 because I have 2 of these blue sets, 3 of the silver, then I have my wooden set, and then I have a golden set. Hey, Chris. And, I'm actually gonna start getting some sets off of Amazon and doing reviews on them because, you know, I know there's a lot of sets out there. There were some really nice ones, but nobody really has been doing reviews on the cheap sets, the cheap metal sets. They've been doing reviews on, like TL Yarn Craft set or what did I do? Where are you caught? I normally sitting back in my chair doing this. There, is that you? Were you over? Aha! But hold on, let me. That's this blanket is getting like I don't know if it's getting on my nerves because I'm in pain. If that makes sense, but I done other stuff I'll tell y'all here in just a second. I just gotta make sure I get this untangled because and I love this blanket, like, it's so freaking gorgeous. Um, there we go. And I try to make it Christmassy, and then the only reason I kinda went with this one is because I was like, "Ooh, there's a lot of green." But things I've been playing with as well, um, I gotta go to my pile of makes. I was messing around with the concept involving the knotted ridge that I came up with some very like the gold sparkly yarn from Mary Maxim, and I wanted to try a concept where I could just change the Afghan knot and what it would actually look like. This is not even gonna be a project, it's just was me to help me work it up in the round to see what it would actually look like, and it came out the way I wanted it. Yeah, Scrimshaw's very it is large, and it's gonna get larger, but the way I'm designing it too is I'm trying to make it one like one of those, heirloom blankets, I guess you could say. But I was playing around with the return pass on this, and I wanted to see what it would actually look like changing the return pass because I'm gonna turn part of this into an ear warmer. So I was playing with that. Um, then I started playing with other stuff. I just gotta finish them off and tighten them down, and we're gonna be doing Christmas ornaments here soon. And I did a mess, like, I literally did a mess of them, like, they're all in this bag. I just gotta close them off and hey, Joy. I bet Scrimshaw. But I did a mess ton of them and all the different color combinations that you could even think of with what I had, and it's all glitter yarns. So, I just gotta close them off, like I said, close them off and do what I wanted to do with them, and we have Christmas ornaments. Hey, lady. Hey, Manuela. So play with them that way. Um, I still gotta do the Christmas bags, the gift bags, they and the ornaments, they're quick and easy, you know? They could take maybe 20 minutes each just because it's Tunisian, and they're they're pretty they're fun. I mean, once you understand the concept of how to make a circle in Tunisian, it's gonna sink real quick. And then what else did I do? Oh, that's the other Christmas stuff, it's over there. There's a couple of blanket concepts I played around with, working up, seeing how they would come out. Yeah, and then, I figured out a way to also what is that? Make little Tunisian booties. So I don't know if I'm gonna have those out before Christmas just because I don't know with my legs, what I'm trying to get a lot of the small, fast to me, for filming wise stuff done, so that way I can, at least buy me some time because I have a feeling I mean, I'm in a major flare up. I just have a feeling it's gonna last pretty long. So if I can get that stuff done, that will really, really, really help out. Alright, let me see the stitches. I know what stitch I'm doing, so that's simple stitches. Is that what I'm doing? 'Cause that's a drop down. I don't do a drop down here. I gotta look at my pattern. Where are you? There we go. Let me pull you over here so I can see. Oh, come on. Actually, I did. No, I did not do it. I did do a drop down there. Why would I do that? Because there's not a bobble. Well, I'm gonna go. I wrote it there for a reason. What that reason is, I don't know. But um, yeah. Hope you can get some sleep, Chris. I know how it is being drugged and not being able to sleep. And does that mess with let's see. I'm trying to. I did it. I don't know why. This 1, 2, 3. So this would be a knit. Knit. Simple. 1, 2. That one? No, I'm not there. What am I doing? Knit, knit. Simple, simple, simple. Okay, that's 2 knits. That's what I did. Now we do a simple. Yarn over twice. And then put a front and back post. Oh, come on. Good Lord. There we go. And then it's simple. Like I'm putting a lot of texture into this blanket too, but I know when I get ready to do Most Store, which is my Irish one, I'm thinking I want to have the Tunisian flower bouquet blanket done. I am praying by like the middle of actually kind of within the first 2 weeks of January, and then I can start on Most Store, which is Eljoy. I'm actually streaming twice. One is in normal, and then the other is vertical. It's a new thing that they put out not too long ago where it allows things to get seen in it, but it for me, I started streaming vertical, good Lord knows how long ago because I did not see like, I have that anxiety and heart issues, so I didn't see the numbers staring at me, how many people were watching because that always messed with me, and but they made it to where you can I guess was it stream across 2 different formats. That's what it's called. So, I'm sitting here, I was watching one of those, that that body cam stuff that I like to watch, and the suspect was really getting on my nerves. They were really getting on my nerves. I know it was, like, a case 3 years ago, and they were showing all the footage from it and everything, but that the suspect was just getting on my nerves. Like, "Yeah." Oh, man. I'm trying to why that camera? "Hey, Lisa, sweetheart." Normally, I do verticals. A lot of it but besides my anxiety part of it, my, um normally, I went for my iPad 99% of the time, or my phone, and the stand thing that I have for those didn't allow for me to put my phone in or the iPad into vertical or horizontal, so I just went I just stayed with vertical. Right now, I my iPad is what you're watching my face on, the one that keeps moving everywhere, and this is my normal filming camera, yeah, raised up pretty high. I may wanna raise it down and see if that gives off the light. If you bring it down just one moment, sorry, it's gonna mess with me. Oh, no. Now I gotta readjust it. I just didn't wanna yeah, this is the camera that I used to film with, it has a nice butt bar on it, and so I was just making sure I didn't hit it or anything. Well, I just like playing around, like, Panda would tried to go live vertical because it messed up his live stream. So I'm gonna tell him how I figured that that's not it. How I figured out how to do it, so that way he can do it. He wants to grow, even though it's a hobby for him, he still wants to be able to grow a little bit more, which is, understandable. There's an interesting program on Friday nights that is a law program, but they show body cam films and analyze. Oh, yeah, like the channel like I said, I watch is Explore With Us or Doctor Insanity. I prefer Explore With Us because they just tell you relevant information, where at times Doctor Insanity was a little overboard and tries to break down the case, and it's like, "Dude, that's not what we're here for. We're here just to watch stuff and make our own assumptions." That's what I like to do, like, guessing who did it. Like, it's um, uh, my mind busy off of everything with my pain, so I literally I have, like, 15 tabs open on my monitor behind me over here. I have a lot of tabs open, and right, of the different ones, 'cause, that the end screen always has a few thumbnails, and it interests you, so I was like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." So and I like the Explore With Us ones a lot more just because they show you a lot of footage that was never shown in 4K, on TV, and they get all these different body cam angles, and that's what I like. I normally would not have liked that, but last week, um, this major flare-up started, and I was watching lives, a lot of different crochet lives, and I just couldn't do it. It's nothing against the host or anybody, but the pain was just getting worse. I had to find something besides a complicated blanket to or a blanket I have to pay attention to, um, help distract even more so, and I done that, and I was like, I kinda it helped a lot. Yes, Chris, you actually can use a half a size or even a full size lower. Um, yeah, just a half a size or a full size. That'll work, you know, uh, that'll work perfectly. My goodness. There we go. It's a big twist for sure, but I'm getting Panda's gonna get hooked here soon on doing these, in the round squares because 'cause he's been looking at watching me do this one, and the Christmas stocking, he saw that. Well, he took it. He didn't see it, he took it. It's hanging in his room, in his, computer room of his dais. He wanted it, so and I wasn't gonna do nothing with it, so I gave it to him. Wanted it, just he he's ready. He does and he's like, "But I don't have 2 of the same set." I was like, "You have me. You have what I have. You have 2 of the same set." Or yeah, 2 of the same sizes as me. He's got the rainbow metal set that I got back in, let's see, March, and then thanks to Craig, I had the blue set, and then Craig, for my birthday, sent me an Amazon gift card, and I got me another metal set of these silver metal ones because Michael was doing Idjit one day, and I wasn't paying attention. I was in his with Tiffany Hansen, and I twisted something too tight, and it snapped off the screw spot. Well, you know, s I've been using 7 millimeters a lot lately, and that would've I had 2 metal sets. That would've put me down to 1, so I had to buy another metal set, you know that. So I've bought another 3rd silver metal set, and quite a few other metal sets that I wanna try, and a couple of wooden sets that there's not many reviews on 'em, and I wanna try 'em, you do get they're not badly priced, they're between 30 and $40, which for a full set of Tunisian crochet hooks aren't bad at all. They're, in my opinion, that's pretty cheap comparatively to, what people have been getting, like the Kagyu and, the, Tony Lipton, is it Lipsy, um, armrest set, uh, and there's a few other sets people have been getting, and, I still love my Knitter's Pride, but I know, especially in this economy, everybody wants, we gotta be cheap, and if we can be cheap and I can check out the hook because I will not just okay, I will, work up projects with them before I say anything about them like I did the first metal set. I'll work a couple projects with them, make sure they're fine and dandy because there's no point in saying, "Oh, get these," and they're actually poop. I'm not gonna I'm budget conscious, and I'm sure everybody else is, especially in this day and age. Like, literally, it took me and Panda we didn't want to spend money. It was 3 months to finally go, "Okay, let's get a new tire." Oh, yeah. Like, I have my Knitter's Pride set, but then I went off and bought 6 additional hooks of each size because I use them a lot. When I'm trying to do stuff fast, I will use these metal ones because the return pass with these metal ones just oh my gosh, it's like butter. They just glide. And I do actually like the metal ones. The cables on them, in my honest opinion, are the best that I have came across for cables just because of the way oh my gosh, where are you hooked on? There you go. Because of how they're braided metal and coated, and plus not only that, they're cool, and I love them. Hi, Patty. Need a drink? Yeah, I'm digging my metal what time okay. I'm digging my metal ones. I haven't tried the Denise hooks. I'm not the ones I have found, I don't know well, I haven't found. I really haven't gone out and looked for Denise hooks, but the Denise hooks I have seen have all been plastic. I'm I have a habit of breaking plastic hooks. Hi, Kristen. And I don't want to spend the money, and next thing you know, I break them. There I have a bunch of sets saved on my private shopping list on Amazon that I wanna try out before I give really good reviews, uh, or give the actual, review on them. There's one set and what I'm gonna do, Panda, he knows what I'm gonna be doing with I don't there's about let me go to my Amazon. Where's my Amazon? Open window, where's my shopping list? There is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different sets. I'm only gonna be keeping 2 because one's an actual Afghan needles, and they look cool. And then the other one set itself looks cool. The rest, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use them. I'm going to, use them in projects, at minimum 2 projects like I did with the other metal ones, and give an honest review on them, and then I'm gonna hold them off until I get all this done and ordered and reviewed, and then I'm gonna do a giveaway for all the sets. I don't need that many sets. I don't need that many that I have now, but, we'll just hold a giveaway because, I'll let Panda have 1 or 2, and then we'll do like, at least, I think 10 or 12 we'll do giveaways for. And see, that's what I've seen, but the one thing I did like about them, but I don't know how strong it is, on the Denise sets, Chris, is how the cable snaps into the hook, but how easy does it come undone? You know what I mean? So I wanna make sure, I that's the one that's 2 reasons because they're plastic and the way I have seen how the cable kind of pushes snaps, I don't the way I hold my hook and everything, I have a feeling that, I would break them. Right, right, Joy, I love hooks, don't get me wrong, like I said, though, but I have 2 blue, 3 silver, or or whatever you wanna call them. My wooden one, my Knitter's Pride, but technically I have 7 sets of those just 'cause all the extra hooks that I bought individually, and then I have that gold set that I'll never use. And so I don't have really like, I have a few good Afghan hooks, like, really good Afghan hooks, but let me see if I can pull it up over here. The one that I really wanna get well, I don't have good Afghan hooks, is what I'm saying, 'cause all the ones that I have gotten before, they'll say they're 6.5 or 6.0, whatever, and they're not. They're not. I'll gauge them, and they're not. Let me pull up the set that okay, we go here. What do I do? How do I do this? I need to turn on this monitor so I haven't been able to share a screen in forever, so I don't know what I'm doing. Yep. Oh, yay. Where are you? There it is. Okay, this is oh my gosh, how do I do that? That's the set that I want. I mean, that I wanna get to test with and play around with because I love that aspect of 'em, and they're not a bad price, and you get move that, Michael. I don't know how many it's 12 pieces. Yeah, so the it's a really nice looking set, and I wanna try them out 'cause I think they're really cool, and let's see, that's the sizes they have, which is pretty much the common Tunisian crochet sizes, which is awesome, and everything I've looked at them, and it really only has, like, 6 or 7 reviews, so I wanna try them out and actually see if they how well the that's one thing I wanna that's one of them I wanna keep. Let me go to the next. Where are we? Oh, closed it. Let me open it back up. Okay, come here. Go here. I'm about to pull it back up. I can find my freaking list again. Like the set that's one set, and this is the second set that I want to keep, and I'm not meeting that. I may see it, Michael. There we go. That's the second set that I wanna keep. It looks like it's wooden. It's rosewood, but it's supposed to be compatible with the cables are supposed to be compatible with metal ones, and I wanna test that. But the main reason I wanna keep it is because I love this case. That case is just phenomenal. I love it. It's a nice case, and they also and it's I mean, yeah, and it's a little bit pricier, but and then you have the regular crochet hooks, and they're more expensive too, but they are olive wood. They're pretty, but I wanted it for the Tunisian rosewood ones. That's yeah, that's those are the 2 out of the 16 that I would keep. Where are we? It's not it. I have to pull it up. Now I have to edit move. Good lord. It moved everything on me. Think so. Yeah, that should work. Just save. No, I do not want that. Cancel. Discard because I can pull it up. Where is it? What's it? There it is. That's the one I was using. Haha, found it. Yeah, I want to use that. I want to. There's a few other metal ones by different companies, and I just want to. I know everybody like that. Everybody's on a budget, and if I can give you a really good advice on, a really good but cheap set, why not? I don't want my name plastered on it. I still wanna order that custom sets from Australia. Oh my gosh, those are gorgeous, the work that that guy he does down there. Um, okay, let's see how or a longer circular Chinese size I'm needing. They sent me a 2. Oh my goodness. Scroll up. I don't know why everything just jumped. There we go. I was now seeing what you said, Chris, about the cable on those. Oh, yeah. Very I can see that. Hi, Vicky. Um, I just have a bad habit. I've always my grandmother, when she taught me how to crochet, she taught me how to crochet with the plastic ones that she got for free every month. She had a mess of them, and I was breaking them when I was crocheting because I put weight. I mean, you can see how I hold it. I put weight and leverage on mine, and I've always done that. I've tried breaking myself of that habit, and that doesn't go nowhere. So that's why I'm glad with these metal ones. They're really, really sturdy, and that's what that and I tell you what, I've seen the prices for, like, the Chagoo sets, and, yeah, they're pretty and all, but they're not what I want to spend that money on. I've got you know how it is, you know? Yeah, Patty, that is a good thing. Hi, Sarah. Well, that's awesome. You're gonna like these cabled hooks once you get there. They're a game changer, and y especially with you can take 2 hooks together, and you can put one on one end of a cable and the another on the other end, and you can do in the round. I've been doing a lot of in round lately. Morning, Tracy. See, I do like the wood. Don't get me wrong, I do like the wood. The only thing I don't like about the cables, like you said, is, you know, you have to either kinda, like, steam them a little bit to get them to loosen up. What I have is this my little cubby hole right here was a closet, and then I kinda pushed me in my recording area, but I took these type of binder clips, and I've always done that with the cables, the clear plastic hard ones, like the Knitter's Pride or whatever, and I always pre-strung them and let them just hang and let them, you know, work themselves out eventually, but the swivel cables for those, for the Knit Pro and, Knitter's Pride are the mindful ones, and they break without any without much effort at all, and it's a pain in the butt to get Knitter's Pride Knit Pro to pay, 'cause you have a year warranty on those their mindful swivel cables, and it is a pain in the rear end to get them to live up to their own agreement. Oh, true, yeah. See, I'm kinda all over the spectrum, um, and not really. Most of my work I've done is in 2 weights. I have a few 2 weights, but I'm gonna have a lot of 2 weights coming up. A lot of stuff that I wanna do in 2 weight, and Ted has been doing a lot of, stuff in 2/8. well, the when Day has her auction this week, the Ruby's Dream that's in there is was made by him. That one was made by him. He mimicked the same color scheme that I did for the original, and we're putting that in the auction for her, and it's made by him, you know? And he's been, like, loving, uh, 2 weights a lot, so much so that he asked me if I would be able to spare some of my Black Friday yarn money and get him some 2 weights. But, um, so he wants me to get him some solids in certain colors and 2 weights, so I'm gonna be using some of the money that I have been saving for Black Friday yarn buying and get some. And that's the gift you sent us, Scrimshaw. We're waiting on Black Friday to use it so we can get get a little bit more bang for the buck. And I'm excited for the auction too. I'm really excited to just she's phenomenal. I love her to death, and I shouldn't have said that like that because YouTube may spank me. Um, and truthfully, without her recognition in the beginning, I wouldn't be where I'm at. She's Yeah, there's a ton of love and respect for her. And, she's one of the big pillars of our community. Her, Mikey, Craig, Estacia, yeah, some of the bigger pillars in our community. Yes, exactly, and that's what he wants. He wants me to because they come in a pack of, I think it's 10, Joy Patty or Joy, I mean. Um, they come in 10. Uh, so he wants me to grab at least or asked me, to grab him at least 5 or 6 different solid colors. That's what I'm gonna do. And I haven't made socks in, like, 3 3 year I need to make socks. I know. I just can't find the that I want. And I know the Hirschner's, 4 weights come in 4 or 5 depending on which one you're gonna buy. I but, I just can't find I think I found the yarn that I wanna use for socks, but I'm not 100% positive. Like, I gotta feel it, you know what I mean? For that. Oh my gosh, Sarah. They already started? I mean, truthfully, I don't need yarn, but, um, I wanna stock up. I have enough to cover about half of the projects on my lists that I have everywhere. I could, probably cover all of them, but I have certain ideas that I have certain colors meant for those, if that makes sense. Because when I think of a project, I'm already thinking of the color, the stitches, all at once, and I've got majority of the colors that I want, but I just wanna get a bit more and just so that way I don't have to go yarn shopping for a couple of years, and I can literally just, you know 'cause there's gonna be a time and here soon, and then I'd say more near future than distant future, where I'm gonna have to use a scooter to get around, and that's gonna limit my going out and doing things because it's just gonna make it hard to get around. And my CRPS just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and putting weight on my legs to walk is excruciating, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to probably a couple more years, and then it's gonna have to be scooter time. I have been talking to Panda about another option, and that option is I don't know if I wanna consider that option because the way my legs are getting worse, the option is amputation. I don't wanna consider it. I just don't know. It's it's there in my mind that it may be an option that I do choose, but it's not something I'm sitting here, you know, mulling over constantly. Hey, Kristen, when it comes to big twist, I don't have any willpower. That's what most of my yarn is going to be when I buy it here next week. Is going to be um, big twist because I love big twist, and there's like I don't know if I'm gonna even actually have enough mustard to finish this project. I should, if I'm gonna be really close. I've used a lot of this mustard color this year, and I'm gonna be using a lot of it in my Most store, which is gonna be dark teal again with this mustard, and I need a lot of it, and I would love to be able to like, the bag a day yarn, the 7 Cs, I really do want it. It's just for me, it comes down to price. I know it's more of a premium acrylic, but whenever Tunisian uses 30 to 50% more than crochet, then it becomes a really bad budget issue. And I like, my big twist dash, besides what's over in the cubby here or whatever that thing is, ooh, the shelves, um, we have 30 30 32 gallon to 30 gallon totes, that's what they are, full of big twist. I'm just a big twist snob. I love it. It's I don't know, I like it. Like, when I worked with Hirschner's, what's it called? The tweed, it's like 30% wool. It really tore up my finger. It like, this spot right here, it really tore up my finger, and same with here. It's all messed and that was back in August, and it's still messed I'm still recovering from that, and I can't do it there. So, right? Yeah. So I've just been a snob for big twist. I have to be picky. Even when I was working with that Hirschner's 30% wool, it didn't mess up my skin like most wools would, but it was messing with my breathing, and it was starting to close up my throat. So we had to put a and I used it because it's in that Hexacardy right here, but I had to put a fan on me to constantly keep it blowing away from me. So I didn't inhale and the wool fibers. And I know, D and um, these Creative Hands and Mama G has sent Panda wool yarn, but they tell us ahead of time, "Hey, there's wool in here." So I don't go to Panda's at all because he's got some wool in there. And he's like, "Oh, I won't have wool here just for use." I'm like, "No, you can have wool in here. Just let me know when you're gonna use it. I can just step away, or turn the fan around, turn the fan on." I don't breathe it. That's all I care about. If it's pretty, use the heck out of it. Don't use it because you know, just warn me, and I can either wear a mask or whatever. Yeah, and see, I'm not a big like I love. Well, that's the reason I like the twist because I can actually just use it, and not have issues with it. And then I just do, and I've Red Heart is and it's gotten softer, don't get me wrong. Like, the ones that they sell at the Dollar Tree, I bought Panda some of those, and he enjoy they're soft. They are really soft. Okay, Vicky. See, well, I have about 15 or 20 of the Menagerie Chameleon, and I probably have about I know around 15 of Rosy Maple Moss. I have 15. What is this color? Flamingo, in Paris Finish. There's one other color I want over there. I can't see it. But I wasn't able to get all the colors. I got what they sent me. It can, Patty, the depending on which one it is. Most of the value will peel. However, if the value was made in Big Twist value was made in India, it has a higher chance of not peeling than if it was made in Turkey, if that makes sense. I hope you have a good day, Vicky, and enjoy your week, sweetheart. Um, and then I have all the colors of Vortex. I haven't even gotten to mess with the Vortex yet. Like, one day, me and Panda were just joking around. He goes, like, "Oh, you should sell your Vortex." And I was like, "You know what? I'm not gonna sell it because I won't do that on you." But, I was like, "Well, let me just look and see how much they're going for." Between 15 and $20 a cake on the Vortex. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I got 30 of each colorway. And that's what they sent me. I didn't go out and buy them. They were sending me this stuff, because it was going to be a sponsorship deal. Some bankruptcy. Anyway, um, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money," but I couldn't do it because I wanna use the stuff. I really wanna use it. And Turkey really does usually do great yarns. Like, I like the Herrschner yarn. Herrschner's comes from China. However, there's things I like about Herrschner's yarn and things I don't like. Same with all of the yarns, what is that? Premier Basics Gradient. I have 3 colorways over here that I wanna use in a different projects. Um, a Tunisian Kaleidoscope is what I wanna really use it for. Crusca Michaels is actually carrying it now. They got the rights to sell Big Twist Value. Big Twist, the actual name, the yarn, everything was never owned by Joann. It was actually owned by Big Twist Corporation. That is an actual that's the actual company, and they are a yarn manufacturer of Turkey. They're moving their plants and have been for several years from Turkey to India. Um, restrictions. Uh, yeah. Anyway, they got the rights to carry Big Twist Value, Big Twist Pound Plus, Big Twist Twinkle. Now they got the rights to carry, but have to relabel Big Twist Posh, Big Twist Baby Bear, and they want to say it was Big Twist Plush, but they have to relabel them Loops and Thread, whatever they decide. Um, and then what Mary Maxim carries of Big Twist is what they bought at a lot sell, and they're still, you know, offloading it. And then what Hirschner's got the rights to sell Twinkle as well, Big Twist Value, who's the other, Supernova, and a few others. So it all, yeah. And I think the reason why they're letting Michaels and, um well, Hirschner's first fronted the whole Big Twist Corporation to do Big Twist, but I think they're jumped on the whole, allowing Hirschner's because of I believe the international shipping. I could be wrong on that part, but because they're gonna be allowing international shipping. Yeah, Casey was, actual Joanne's name brand, but I believe no, that was actually owned by Big Twist Corporation too, and Joanne's was leasing that, yeah. It's a book that's long, like, weird, complex. They tried explaining it to me 3 or 4 times in different meetings with, and I was like, just tell me, who owns the Big Twist name?" And that's when they told me, "Big Twist Corporation out of Turkey." "Oh, we just lease it." "Okay." That's all I needed to know. I don't care about what all that other stuff they were trying to tell me when we were doing all the contract stuff. Yeah, I'm a Big Twist junkie, and yeah, I need to take a minute to go to the restroom. So, I will we be putting I do too. I do too. See, I don't Patty, I personal reasons, sexuality is why we don't go to Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna put something up so that way where to put it? There you go. I'll be back in just a minute. I gotta turn on the light. I gotta go. Okay, let me take this off. Camera on. And where do I take that off? There we go. Now let me get comfortable. Oh, heating blanket back on. And we go to chat. There we go. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Come on. I'm caught on my blanket. There we go. Woo. I know, like, what we've been doing too is with our Etsy store, we've been saving it. Panda goes 24th of this month to a neurologist, a spinal surgeon, to see what's up with his back, how bad it is. 'Cause we don't, he's been losing a lot of work time. Hasn't hurt us yet financially, but um, I think the answer from the neurosurgeon is going to be you have to quit working. So, and I know it's going to tell him to file for Social Security disability, etc. So I've been preparing for that, which is why we've been saving all the Etsy money. Mm, caught on my pillow. Oh, come on. Hello. So we just been saving it just because we don't know. And yeah, you just never know. There we go. Everything just falling. I don't know what that was. Wasn't important. But so we've been selling some projects and selling, and also when I create something with somebody in mind, because why did you keep that? Oh, okay. Now I get comfortable. What did I drop down here? I don't see nothing missing. So I guess I didn't drop anything. But there's just certain things, also, at the beginning of the year, we're going to start equalizing our Etsy store prices, just making everything one price. So some things are going to go up, some things are down. It's just going to make it easier in the long run if we do that. Um, just make everything one price. I am too, Patty. Hopefully you can get there in time. Now to figure out off. Okay. Where did you, oh, we were doing the return pass. Or I was doing the return pass. But and then there's my projects that uh, I I was supposed to. I'm not going to be able to because of this flare up, and we don't know what's up with Panda's back. I was going to join with Tiffany and a few other creators and do soap sat drive. That might flare up, and whatever we find out from the neurosurgeon, because his back is getting worse. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. His back is just getting worse. So we have to plan accordingly, and I'm not going to be able to take on side projects that I really would love to do. That like my legs really stop me from doing a lot. Like I really do want to go, as a panel on other people's lives. I've been asked, but I literally just don't know how I'm going to feel day to day, much less minute to minute. and I just can't commit to it, that's why I had to quit going up on Craig's is, within 5 minutes before I was supposed to be there, a flare up starts, and it's just like, I can't commit, and, this CRPS is it's pretty dreaded condition. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Um, I've been helping other people who are getting diagnosed with the condition, and you read up on what CRPS is, you think your life's over. You really do, and I just try to help them, you know, you gotta keep your mind busy, and I've been sending them, either my way, pick up crochet. Seriously, it's a cheap investment. It doesn't matter if you're right-handed, left-handed. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. A very minimal investment, and you can get going, and it helps. It really does. He's not looking forward to it. But we're making plans, really big plans for, my brand. It takes about 8 months, but we've already put in the paperwork for me to be trademarked. Uh, 1, it's why not? My even though it's my initials, literally, MDL is my initials, that's all it is. It's nothing fancy, but have it trademarked, that way there's protection. 2, if something happens to me, because he'll be co-owner of it, he can still, you know, make money, um, off of it. 3, there's a really big a really, really big project. Scrimshaw knows what it is, but we're not gonna talk about what it is. We're not gonna link it or leak it, but there's a big project that Kendra's been working on. I've gotta do my part, which is take pictures, um, and work things up, but there's gonna be, it's gonna be about a year-long project of working everything out and doing it, but there's that project that Scrimshaw's helping with. I've got, uh, 2 that I have been working on, sort of, books for me. Um, my book, Panda's project, I'm not gonna leak that one, but what I've been working on is more along the lines of, uh, what are those called? Diagrams, because there's really no, like, diagram, how to read the symbol, what the symbol is type of thing, and how to do it in crochet. There isn't really one, and I want to be able to put one together, and that's what I'm working on, so that way I can I like it not a glossary for diagrams, I guess you could call it. I've been working on I have to build the stitches in Adobe Illustrator, and that's a pain in the rear end. Oh, thank you, Joy. I love doing this, and literally, when Panda says he learns from me, he does. He doesn't. I told him many times, if he wants to know something, he can ask me, but he'll say, "Have you done a video on it?" "No." "I'll wait till you do the video." He'll wait. Oh, wow, Nikki. Like, it's just getting worse and worse for him, and he went to a pain doc beginning of the year, somewhere around there, they did a bunch of stuff and none of it worked. And so then they said the next step is I'll go to a neurosurgeon and see what they say. I need to take this off. I have a clip here because my headphones cord is really long and I don't like tripping over it. So I clip it to my desk. So that's what I've been pulling on. But I know it's eating him up. And, he keeps saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't bring home enough money." I'm like, we got a roof over our head. We get food. Our bills are paid. That's all I care about. He gets mad if I use YouTube money, which isn't much. He gets mad if I use it to pay bills or something. And for the past 3 months, he's like, "You don't touch it. You don't touch your YouTube money. That's for your yarn. That's for your Black Friday yarn." People. So, oh wow, Nikki, yeah. He hasn't had any back surgeries yet, but he's got degenerative nerve disease, degenerative disc disease, narrowing of some canals, and that's all I can remember from the MRI. And he's constantly in pain. Like I mean, he's just like me. We're both constantly in pain, but yeah, his is pretty weird. He could be fine, not fine, but pain one day, and then the next day he can move a lot better. And then even that same day, he can sneeze or just act wrong, and he still out his back for the next week. And that's weeks worth of work. So we're just trying to. Well, I'm going to go with him because I used to work with that neurosurgeon, and I just want to. Yeah, I'll know what he's saying where he won't have much of a clue. So we'll find out on Monday the 24th. And I mean, I'm not stressing it because, whatever happens is going to happen. You can't stop it. I have learned that with my legs. And I'm just thankful, my stuff is covered by the VA. So, and we're thankful we're not hurting. Bills are paid. We have money left over for groceries. That's the thing that gets me though, is the price of groceries right now. It's like, oh my lord. I joke with Fran. I was like, yeah, next time I go to the store, I'm just gonna stock up on ramen because that's what we're gonna have to eat for a couple of weeks. Just joking, but oh, Tracy. Oh, Nikki, that's like when I got my social security disability, I I hear that I've been told I got lucky because I didn't have to see Social Security. They didn't send me out to go see a doctor. They took all my military records and VA records, and within I did get the initial denial, of course, and I got an attorney, and within 6 months after getting the attorney, I had to go in front of a judge, and they kind of went off with one of their job people. Like, "Okay, is Mr." Well, y'all know my last name, Davis Lugo. "What can Mr. Davis Lugo do with no condition?" They're like, "Oh, you can do this, this, and this." Well, yeah, I have a college degree in nursing, and of course I can do all that if I wasn't hurting. And then they started throwing in my conditions, and then they threw it in, all of them. I was like, "Approved, okay." And, that all took from beginning to end of filing 2 years. Was it 2 years? No. Yeah, I filed in 2011, got it in 2012. And then I wanna say it was, like, 2018, I got a letter that said, "Hey, you miraculously got better." So we're taking you off, and I had to go down there. I'm like, "Okay, I got better. Uh, is that why I'm having a full knee replacement in 2 months?" And then we get in front of a judge to fight that one. Like, "Okay, no, you're not getting better." And then develop CRPS. He's like, "No, you're done. No more reviews for you." He did. His is actually, welcome back, Jetton. He, which we well, it's gonna be like 500 more than mine, but which is whatever, he worked longer. But, like, what helped me get mine, because you gotta have all those work credits, etcetera, etcetera, etcetera. What helped me get mine on that aspect was every year in the military counts as 3 years, 3 or 4, I think it's 4 years civilian, so my 12 years counted as 40 something. Like, "Okay, sure." Well, see, like, he did file, beginning of the year. They said they sent the letter, and, when you send a letter saying you're denied, you have 2 months to follow your appeal. We didn't get a letter, and I check the mail every day. We never got a letter saying that he was denied until after the 2 months was up, so he couldn't file an appeal. So now he has to have a doctor say because they yeah. Court's not that bad, Nikki. The appeal process court, when you go in front of the judge or whatever, it's not bad. It sounds bad because you're like, "I gotta go in front of the judge," but it really isn't. It's they have one of their what are they called? They're called, job coders or something like that, and they take your work history and assign it numbers, codes, and stuff, and they just go they start saying, what you can do if you had none of your conditions, and then they start throwing your conditions in slowly at a time, and then when all your conditions are in, they'll say, "What can this person do with these conditions?" And they'll list what you can do, or they'll just say there's nothing you can do. So we had to, it's not as bad as it sounds, and if you have an attorney, they'll be the moral support you really do need. Good morning, Moonrose. But yeah, we just waiting on that, which we've been saving everything from Etsy for that. And of course, both of us being the thing all the time. This is crochet up a storm. He's in the living room, lounging around. We don't have a TV in the living room. What we have is a projector, 180-inch screen. So he's always in there watching whatever he's watching, somebody on YouTube or listening to audio while he crochets away. And he's making his own patterns too. Um, that Tahiti blanket was his own pattern. Girl's best friend was his own pattern. So I'm proud of him to comparatively where he was a year and a half ago, barely knew how to do the simple stitch. He barely knew how to do what's it called? The in stitch. Exactly, Kristen. That was my and then at that time, they had me on opioids with pain meds and the surgical nurse. Nobody's gonna hire you, a surgical nurse on an opioid. that they were taking 3 times a day. No. Then, of course, 2018 came around and messed up everybody who actually legitimately needed the opioids. VA will not give them, and, like, our VA, they refuse. When I went in for my back in August for the flare-up, for my right leg, which is what I'm fighting right now, it's the exact same. It feels like, because the way with CRPS does it, it records your pain that you've ever been through. It records all your pain, and then it'll, like, for the affected limbs, and then, just out of the blue, it'll just release that pain. So you can relive injuries over and over and over. Uh, but what it's been reliving me is when I had my first, my right leg, when I had my partial knee replacement. Feel the scalpel cutting my skin. I feel the or the retractors opening. I feel everything they ever did in there, and it constantly replays. And they won't give pain meds. The only thing they decided they're gonna give is, "Oh, we're gonna give you Tylenol 4." I mean, it was enough for my stimulator to help kick in, but within 3 hours later, I was back in the same boat. So I sucked it up as much as I could. Um, Cradle helps, but there's only so much, you can do. And I just busted out. I was just crocheting away. I had to keep my mind busy and off the pain, and I was walking because I have a cane that literally sits right here, because there's times I'll get up and I can't put no weight on the leg. It hurts. And that's, like, it sucks. I'm 48, and I shouldn't be going through this, but, it's my life now, and I have to accommodate it, and I accommodate it by doing this and talking with you guys and, probably sharing too much. Yeah, scrimshaw. The people who legitimately need it can't get it anymore, and the way the VA is, you get a week's supply post-surgery, and other than that, you don't get a cancer. And I'm like, "No wonder street pharmaceutical use is skyrocketing in this country among veterans." It is horrendous in the veteran community because they have to self-medicate. I'm just I don't wanna say lucky, but I'm kinda lucky in the aspect that I don't like the way none of that makes me feel. I don't drink because I don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't do every blue moon, I'll do the, little flower stuff, but I don't like the way it makes me feel. There's just no the last time I did some, about a year ago, I tried crocheting and I screwed that whole entire project up. So if I can't crochet, then there's no point. Yeah, it's sad that we have to go these routes, to get the help we need, to get access to what we put into it. And I get it, there's people out there that do abuse the system. I totally understand that, but when you've got, a mountain of medical evidence, it should be common sense. And it shouldn't be somebody like me, the person like a year was it, in 2018 that they were trying to say I got better. It was somebody down in I live in the Texas Panhandle in Amarillo, but it was somebody down in our state capital in Austin saying I'm better. Somebody that does not have medical training, somebody who does not have a medical degree was making the decision. And when I went up there to go or to the local Social Security office to file my appeal, there was a veteran in front of me as well who lost their limb in Iraq, and they're like, they get the same note letter I did. "You got better." And he's like, "How did I get better? Did I grow a limb back or something?" No. So they're just people that have no clue what they're doing, making those decisions. Hi, Debbie. Um, exactly, you know, for my condition, you know, the spinal cord stimulator works for some, and it'll work for, up to like 50% help with 50% of the pain on some days. On some days, it only works for about 30 for me. Most days, it works out like maybe 10, 15, but at least that's some pain relief. There's, they tried me on Lyric, they tried me on all different types of nerve pain medication that works for a lot of people. It doesn't work for me. Uh, and that Well, she was trying me on all this medication, and nothing was working. She goes, "Are you sure nothing's working?" Like, "I'm positive. I would tell you if I was getting relief, I'm not." And then she finally, after all that months and months of trying different medications, she's like, "Well, do you get hyper when you take an opioid?" I'm like, "Yes." She goes, "That is why they're not working on you." I'm like, "Okay, can we reverse that? I don't know." But because opioids are uppers to me, a lot of the nerve pain medication will not work for me. What There's a possibility of a new treatment coming out, but it's experimental, and the VA is not gonna pay for it. Exactly, Joy. Um, I have faith in humanity. I really do. I do get annoyed at humanity. And, I mean, I stay home a lot, and a lot of that is too is my PTSD. I don't like dealing with big crowds, so I don't. If I go grocery shopping, it's gonna be at 6 in the morning when one is first open. But when you sit there, like when I first when my CRPS started, before I was even diagnosed, I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know. All I knew is I wanted to go do something that meant I would be gone permanently because I was hurting so much and nobody could tell me anything. And then I had a follow-up appointment with my orthopedic surgeon, and I just broke down crying and told him. And he's like, "Let me call somebody real quick." And they did a conference call, and with I didn't know this doctor. I'd never worked with this doctor, so I didn't know nothing. And sorry, I'm filling up my soda. The kratom dries my mouth out, and this one gets coated. And, so they got her on the phone, and we were talking and everything. She's like, "So what do you feel?" And I explained, and she goes, "Okay, have you noticed?" She goes, "There's 2 things I'm gonna ask you. You already said you noticed all this other stuff." She goes, "But there's 2 things I need to know because you're checking all the boxes so far for a certain condition. You gotta check the last 2." And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" She goes, "Have you had abnormal or, like, faster growing toenails?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm having to trim them at least once a week." And she goes, "What about your leg hair?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "You have CRPS. We need to do 1 test, make sure you have it, but there can be light at the tunnel at the end of the tunnel." So that kept me moving then. And 2, when you don't know what's wrong with you, that messes with you mentally. You have no clue of what is wrong, and Nobody has a clue. It really messes with your psyche, your mental health. Like I said, I was close to doing something that I would regret, and, it was thankful to Panda that I didn't do it. He came in the bedroom at the right time, but it's because I didn't know there was no light at the end of the tunnel, and then once and then once you get diagnosed with there's a light. You know what it is. You understand now what it is, and when I got told I came home, and it was off that day, and I told them, like, "This is what they're saying I have. This is the condition." And so we both of our computers were in the computer room then, this was a spare bedroom. No, our first 2 kids were in here, and, we went to the computer room, though, and we Googled it, we were talking, and he's like, "Sounds dreadful." I was like, It does." I was like, "But now I know what's wrong." Yeah, little Carrie, that's what I go through daily, um, and, of course, everybody's CRPS is different. Mine is whole legs, it can affect a body part just like it can affect just the toe. It can affect organs too, and it can spread, and there's another pain to it, but YouTube will there's another name called it that it that it goes by. YouTube will ban me if I say that word, um, because a lot of people have no option but that way out, or so they think. It is a very, very hard condition to live with, but, the way I look at it, like, literally, I was getting at my wit's end again because nothing was working treatment-wise before I started my channel. I started my channel, and I started pouring my energy into my channel, and when I say you guys saved me again, I mean it, because I was getting back to my wit's end again. So, yeah. Exactly, Patty. Knowing is really just half the battle. Once you know there is a light somewhere, oh, man, it's so much better to know there's a light somewhere, and to know that, you know, like, I have met other people here on YouTube that suffer from the same condition I do, that I would never have known other people who suffer from it, and also, some of these people will also tell me, because of my channel, because I taught them to do crochet, I have helped them. You know, I didn't set out to help people that way, but if I can, I will. Let me go. I just gotta throw up real quick. Saw something here. Not knowing is awful. It took 3 years of doctors for my son. I ended up on a waiting list at Mayo Clinic. That was our light bulb moment. Oh, wow. And just like I say, when people try to compare me with other male creators, it's like, you can't compare us. We're apples and oranges. We're different. But, but I don't mean to say but people do that also with pain conditions. Well, mine's worse than yours because of this, because of that. Everybody perceives pain differently. I have a very high pain tolerance. What I think is a 10 to me, probably be somebody's 20. Um, so you can't I see that in, like, the CRPS community pages that I visit, is they constantly are trying to compare pain. You can't, you know, according to science, CRPS is worse than birth, CRPS is worse than a lot of things, worse than being burned alive. But how do we know that? I don't know that part. But, it's supposed to be the most painful, uh, nerve condition or pain. Anyway, but who's to say what's my most painful pain versus your most pain? You just can't. Fibromyalgia, CRPS, different. RSD, CRPS, all those, they're all different, and everybody perceives it differently, and everybody handles it differently. Exactly, Joy, it does for me too. Having a high pain well, thank you, sweetheart. Sagittarius. I'm tired of these at names, I'm telling you. Those at names just drive me bonkers. I wish they would put it right, you know? Just don't know where it's at. Okay, it's on the big feed. I'm trying to see something here. There we go. Morning, Stefan. Susanna. There we go. And, if I know I'm a crochet channel, but if we're sitting here, we're like for me, it's 2:30 in the morning. I'm up because I'm in pain. I'm awake. There's issues have keeping y'all awake. So, hey, let's just kumbaya. Exactly, Jen. Hey, Jen, by the way. It's one of those that, you just never know. Everybody's different, My high pain tolerance was built up because of the military, because it was, "Here's a straw, suck it up." That was military, the whole, credence in the military. You just kept destroying your body. Um, that looked weird for a minute. It's not, I don't know, it just looked weird. Uh, so, that built my high pain tolerance, and I had to walk in a broken leg. We're in the middle of the swamp, and nothing can get you. No helos, no, Humvee ambulances. So I had to walk back. I had help, don't get me wrong, but I still had to walk back. Um, a Marines took care of me. But that's the whole, with a lot of us veterans, we don't complain a lot because it was the whole military. Yeah. "Hey, Andy." See, we're not the only ones. I mean, and these late night lives of, hey, if it keeps you company while everybody else in your house is sleeping, I'm awake anyway because when I'm in pain, I toss and turn. I'm a side sleeper anyway, so that means I'm flipping and rocking, I don't wanna keep Panda awake. He works, I don't. So, yeah. "Hey, Steen, how are you doing, sweetie?" And if we can keep each other company, keep each other out of that dark space that our mind wanders to when we're hurting, why not? Plus, it's that time of year where we're all gonna be hurting up and down temperatures, oh my gosh. Yeah, Patty, it can be my worst enemy, but then it can be at times, it can be my best friend. Uh, I try not to sleep with especially if I'm really hurting, I try not to sleep while he's sleeping because, like I said, he works during the day. I don't work, so I can afford to stay up all night long working on stuff, recording. 'Cause this is normally when I would record too. Plus, the traffic's not going down the street. They're not but, you're not hearing freaking loud mufflers. Um, so it's one of those, like, kind of beneficial to me too. But because this microphone can pick up a gnat farting across the house. I have it turned down pretty low right now on sensitivity, and it still picks up pretty loud. Well, thank you. I'm about to flip it so you can see it if you wanna wait a minute, Debbie. Um, but yeah, we can just sit here and keep each other company while we're all suffering together and keeping each other out of that dark spot. Let's do it. I know in a few hours, yeah, Juan will be going live for his Monday. I thought he was doing those on Sundays. I guess he switched them to Mondays now, Monday morning. That's pretty early for him, jeez. But, yeah, I don't mind doing these, like I said, I really don't. I'm up anyway. It's just some days it's like right now, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm also dealing with having my stomach way up, and the kratom's helping a lot too, and so is the heating blanket that I got. But most of the time, with my lives they're sporadic because I am hurting, and there was a members only live back in August that it was only about 3.5 minutes. I had to go to the emergency room with pain, and the look on my face, some people said that it was rough seeing the look on my face of pain, but, I try not to show my pain. Is it that early? Wow. Hi, good morning, Erica. Scrimshaw, I think it won. Yeah, I mean, it's just my life, we all gotta deal with it our way, and my CRPS, mm, get a lot of sleep with it, which is kind of beneficial at times too, because it means I get to crochet more. But, like, a lot of my patterns, literally, and a lot of my ideas, that's why I'm really not knocking this condition, because a lot of my ideas and a lot of my patterns have come up because I'm hurting. So I will come up with some patterns out that's usually the best time I can come up with patterns is when I'm in a lot of pain, so that way I don't know why, but I do. A lot of my patterns I come up come up with under pain, so it's I guess it's beneficial on that part. Okay, I hope you can get some rest, Erica. Well, it's like I have to move around and look, um, because literally, yeah, my mic is sitting right here, and the text is, like, right behind the mic, so I have to move and look up, and I don't have the best of vision. I'm supposed to be wearing glasses, but I only wear them when I drive. I have a bad astigmatism. It keeps getting worse over the years, so I'm done fighting, trying to keep, like, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. I just don't drive at night. Exactly, Steven, and writing the ideas down, what stitches I want in there, how I want it to look, you name it, that just keeps my mind busy. and I love doing what I'm doing. This is I love doing this. I really do. Um, I think, like, when it comes to Tunisian crochet, I just wanna share my knowledge. I wanna share my passion. I I know regular crochet. I do. I hate it's been about 16 years since I've actually done it, but, once I get a look at the stitches again, then it would be like riding a bike, but with the Tunisian crochet, there's just I wanna show the versatility. I know there's good designers out there. There really freaking are, but they kinda limit themselves. They bottleneck themselves into doing certain things with only certain stitches. I wanna show the possibility of all these stitches. There's 542 that I have now. I wanna show the possibility of all those stitches together, what you can do with different stitches, how you can do things, and show you possibilities that, "Hey, you may not think this is possible, but Michael, I could show you it's possible." Take take the Jacob's ladder. Nobody thought it was possible before. The other big, big Tunisian designer said it was never possible. It's possible. "Hey, Antoinette, sweetheart." Yeah, Erica, that's what Pan 'cause that's funny, we were talking. Me and Panda were talking about it the day before that morning, uh, and then she went live late that night, morning, whatever, and yeah, it does, Chris, exactly, that and, arthritis. But, he mentioned, he goes, he was sad that he didn't that, Krista wasn't doing another animal auction or one for the animal charity because he wanted to crochet something, and show that, "Hey, I learned all this because of Michael." And then that night, she went live, and she's like, "I'll take some donations," and I was like, "Wait, Tony just finished a Ruby's Dream." I'm like, "What a perfect way to get something he made with an, intermediate to advanced pattern that I made." Show that that's what he wanted to do, so I was like, "Yeah, we'll do that." I told him that morning. He didn't know till he woke up, but yeah, and he's ecstatic for it, he's just like, "Oh my gosh, I hope it brings me good money." We were able to donate 400. Well, we matched it, 500 even to the Dementia Society. Well, Susanna, I'm about to show you the blanket with that square. So, this is holiday it's nowhere near done. I mean, I've got 2 more sections to do. Still got, like, 2 more, bobble sections to do for this one to be done. But we start with my goodness, Michael. We start with the present, your Christmas present right here, and then we go into the tree skirt. Then we go into which is just a stitch pattern I came up with. It's 2 pearls, 3 knit. That's all it was to give some texture, and it actually played really well with this, Big Twist lime jello. I thought it played really well. Uh, Several of the other stitch combinations I was coming up with just did not play with it, so I just went with, extra wide ribbing for this, and each section is broken up by a stitch pattern I came up with about a year and a half ago called the knotted ridge. It's 2 pearl, an Afghan knot, which is done on the return pass, 2 pearl, and a knit, 2 pearl, Afghan knot, knit, 2 pearl, and knit. and it creates a nice little ridge effect. And then we go into the Christmas tree, which this is the Tunisian outline stitch. Oh, no, the Christmas stuff going. Um, then we go to so we got the Christmas skirt, we got the present, the tree skirt, the tree, we have the baubles, which is the ornaments, and then we gonna have stitch combination that's gonna be the tinsel and lights, and then the last one's gonna be there's 4 Tunisian star stitches, or 4 or 5, maybe 4, and I'm gonna be doing a mixture of those in the last section. Yes, Carrie, I totally understand, sweetheart. I know what you mhm. Um, I gotta scroll up. I know I missed thank you, thank you, thank you. That's my vision. It was like it was kinda Panda was making fun of he's like, that's kinda like one of those, Mikey Blanket study of Christmas, but you did the study of the Christmas tree or deconstructed Christmas tree or something like that." And I was like, "I'm calling it holiday jamboree." Um, I just wanted a blanket and and a square, a Tunisian square. Let's see. Yeah, Erica, his newest shawl is beautiful. I'm working on one too that, I'm working on saggy green. It's over there, I can't get up and show it. Um, thank you, Jen Snow. I just love teaching it. I love everything about Tunisian crochet, it's and showing you what's all possible. That's what I love, like I was showing a tutorial that's gonna be coming out later this week. I just gotta close them off, but we're gonna be doing Christmas ornaments, and it's Tunisian, you know? It is Tunisian. Who would have thunk you could do circles? But you can. Um, and I did a mesh ton. I literally did do a mesh ton. I just gotta close them off. Um, yeah, that's the weaving in part of it that nobody likes to do. Uh, and I'm sorry about that, Jedden. I am so sorry you're having a rough night. Thank you guys. Hey Vima. I'm doing good and I hope you are too. Thank you, Joy. I just yeah, everything I do, I am inspired by something. I will never copycat nobody. There's no point. I've got too many ideas of my own to copycat anybody. A lot of my stuff is gonna be like there's one that I'm gonna have. Let's see. After I get all this holiday stuff done, I'm gonna be doing. I hope to have out by the second week of January is the Tunisian version of the bouquet flower blanket, and then I'm gonna work on my Most store. I think that one's gonna take me a little bit longer than I expect, so I may be working on it for, like, 4 or 5 months off and on. That's my next Irish pattern. Most store in Irish means my treasure, but there's one that a lot of my other blankets have been that I have coming up a lot are inspired by historical. Um, one, for example, I can give you the idea that I've based it off of, but I can't show you what it actually is gonna look like. I have a lot of screenshots of literally artifacts, historical art. Is that what it No, that's not it. Where did I do was it this? No, 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 it was a ring. Where did I put it? Oh, goodness. No, but that's how I based my a pattern that I'm gonna have after within the first half of this coming year, a lo called Pharaoh. Um, where it wasn't that, it was a scarab. It was a scarab beetle ring. That's where I got the idea from. No, 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 no. Okay, it was before Halloween candy, but that's there it was a bracelet or a ring. Oh, there it is. I just hit it and I hit something else. Nope, that wasn't it. Just hit it. There. Um, Let me see if I can turn this down so you can see it. Oh, that's too low, Michael. Ain't nobody gonna see nothing there. You can kinda see it. Let me see if I can turn it up higher. I need to clean my screen. But that's this whole, section of this bracelet that was in ancient Egypt, it inspired me to do a pattern, you know? I have an idea, and I'm calling it Pharaoh for that. There's a lot of historical stuff that's where I'm getting a lot of my that I normally get a lot of my inspiration from. Have you ever used the Tunisian alpine stitch to make socks? I have not. The only stitch I ever used to make no, simple stitch and knit stitch and the extended return yeah, that's the only 2 I used, simple stitch and knit stitch. But the alpine stitch, as long as it's even, I don't see an issue. Okay, sweet Debbie, sweetheart. Oh, thank you, cute little Carrie. And Vima. Sorry, my thing didn't scroll down, so I have to scroll Vima. Okay, Joy. No problem, sweetheart. That's what we're here for. We're here for each other, right? You know? Thank you. That's like just to me, like I've heard rumors of. I'm sure y'all have heard rumors of. I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to start stuff because that's not me. I don't care. But of somebody stealing other people's patterns and trying to make it off as their own. To me, there's way too many stitches in this world to copy somebody else's pattern. That's the way I look at it. I come up with my own ideas and literally, uh, I mean, y'all seen the dry erase board. There's one in here in this closet. There's one right outside the closet. There's one on the door, excuse me, of all my ideas. Heck, you know, these are all different ideas. So I'm always coming up with stuff. I don't know, my mind make and I have to write it down or I'm gonna lose it. But I see something and it's like, "Ooh, I could do that. Ooh, what about this? Ooh," especially when it's like history or nature related. I see a crochet pattern. Eh, I just I don't know, I see it. I see when I see there's a couple of, subreddits on Reddit that I follow, history ones, historical artifacts and whatnot, and I see when they're uncovering uh, ancient Roman floors, that they got in Spain or wherever, when they're uncovered, I see stuff. It's just like I start seeing patterns, things that I can make. Uh, I just I don't know, my mind just, like, goes haywire on that stuff. It's crazy, and I'm filling up notebooks full of ideas. Hi, Carmen. So I'm always just my mind's just always going busy. And then so when I'm thinking of those patterns, I'm already thinking of colors. I'm already thinking of stitches. I'm already writing all that down as well, like Pineapple Express. I already knew the stitch. I already know the colors that I want with it. As soon as I thought of it and I started working it up in my head, I'm like, okay, I want this stitch, and this stitch. I want it this color. You know, I'll get the colors, even though I'm probably not going to get to it till a year later. You know, I'll get the yarns ahead of time, just so I know I have them when it comes to that point. I'm gonna try to be busting through a lot of stuff this year. I got baby stuff I want to do in 2026. I've got stuff that I didn't get a chance to start last year because my pain, or this year because of my pain. So I'm gonna try to get a head start on all that. And I still got to do my bees knee shawl. There's just a lot that I want to do, and I'm gonna have the time. Going down. I'm not somebody I'm stopping doing stitch tutorials right now. I've kind of just paused stitch tutorials. That's just to help me. So, oh my God, almost 2.5 hours. Wow. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you all go. Thank you for hanging out with me for the past 2 hours. I didn't realize it was gonna be that long. I'm sorry. I know Juan's gonna be coming on here shortly. So y'all please have a safe rest of your night or day. Be safe this week. If I do not see you this week, I should see you sometime this week on the YouTube street. Just just know you are loved and you are thought about constantly. And if you ever need anything, need somebody to talk to, my email is on my about page, or you can get a hold of me through my Instagram or Facebook. But you all have a great night, day, morning. Love you all very much, and I will see you all on the streets. Thank you all again. Bye.